Okay, so last lecture we have talked about how to add a simple map class to your package. Have you done that? Yes. And today I want to do a little bit more. For example, how to add some widgets to the map. Right. Last week was just a simple map. There's not really much, just simple base map, open map. And today I'm going to add some widgets. For example, the layer control, the door control, something like that, and also maybe add a base map, for example, to make it more useful. And ipyleaflet is very powerful. It allows you to add a lot of interactive components. So for today, we're going to go through, make sure you know how to, for example, how to put all the things together, how to integrate things into your package so that it makes it easy for people to use. ipyleaflet is already very easy to use, but still you need to write a couple lines code to do the stuff, and you can make it even easier. Okay, so let me go back to look at the source code that we have so far. So go to the package under the geo. Okay, so this is the main module. And so last time we have just this simple one. No. Okay. So in it, again, this is the entry point to the map to the class. It's the one that's being executed when you create a map class. So, but you can have as many functions as you like. You can have unlimited one. So I'm going to add another function, for example, to add, let's say, the layer control. So last time we added this one here, like by default, and you don't have control. Some user might not want the layer control, and some might want the layer control to be default. So it might be better to change this to be an option that allows the users to specify. So always keep in mind the things that you want the map to look like. Other people might not have the same taste as you. Okay, and you need to make things that's flexible, customizable. So what we're going to do here is very simple. Again, for the layer control, for example, by default is being added to uh, the upper left corner. So let me again look at the examples just to quickly show you what this looks like, right? So I'm going to import the package, then I'm going to create a map and then see what it looks like. Now a little bit. Can I stop recording? Do you want the recording or do you want to wait like something like? Yeah, recording is taking a lot of resources, but normally this will be very fast. Taking the resources make it slow to 180. And website. So I'm going to go to ipyleaflet. And in terms of programming, I think one thing I highly recommend is to learn how to read the documentation. This is where you can really learn all the stuff and read the source code. So all the packages, if this were established, popular one, you want to have very comprehensive documentation. So all you need to know is to look at the source code and how to make it work. And the general procedure will be for any new packages, you're just going to install the package and then just copy the sample code, paste it into the notebook, run it, fix the error, and then slowly you're going to basically improve. Okay. So again, take a look at this one, right? So this is by default what it looks like. It's a map center around like 20-degree latitude and then 0-degree longitude and zoom level 2. And this is the layer control is going to showing up in here. And maybe the first one I would like to show you is to actually add a base map. For example, this is open stream map. I want other data layers, and there are tons of data layers available. So how do we actually add a base map to here? And what you need to do here is to come to ipyleaflet and then go to, for example, maps and base maps. And then maybe go to base maps. So here you're going to see like there are a bunch of base maps available. And look at this line. It's basically called base maps equal to base map dot blah 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 blah. And this is when you create a map, you can specify the base map you want. For example, right? So here, this is using the OpenStreetMap. So I can do this. But you need to keep in mind here, it say basemap doc something something. So you need to import the library. And you can look at this one, look at the original ipyleaflet source code. What I need to do is simply copy and then come here and I can create a new code block. So pasting here, run it. Hopefully it works. This is a simple one. So for me, I want to use, for example, open topo map. So I can just basemap doc open. You can also press Control space. This should be a shortcut anyway. Open topo maps. Oh, it's camel case. So open uppercase, T uppercase, map uppercase, and take a look. Right. So if I run this one, okay, so now I have an open topo map going up. So you not only have the OpenStreetMap, you can change to all kind of maps. So what this one basically is doing something like this: base map, dot, blah blah, and this base map is from here. This base map module from ipyleaflet. So everything here is under the base map. So I can come back to here, right? I can scroll down, maybe find some other base map you like. How about this one, right? Cao Đơ satellite. You also have a lot of Esri. For example, Esri was a stream map. How about this one? War imagery. Similarly, like I can copy this one, come back to here, and change it, right? Run it. Make sense? So you can change to all kind of base map. But how about this? I don't want to edit as a base map. I want to add multiple data layers, right? Because otherwise, once you change the base map, if you add the layer control, basically you don't have the OpenStreetMap anymore. If you pass in the parameter in here, your base map is changed to this one. So for me, I would like it to have a layer control that I can turn different layer on and off. So what I can do is to add a new function that allow me to add a new layer or something like that. So everything in ipyleaflet is kind of like it's a widget. So I can show you here what it looks like. So for me, maybe I can assign this one to a variable and then can display it. Okay, So what I want you to know is that, okay, is that if you type m.layers, if you assign the variable and then you type m.layers, you can access all the data layer. So pay attention right here, tile layer. So this is basically a tuple. And if you scroll to the right, you should be able to find the URL. So this one basically is the tile URL that's being added to the map. So for me, I can build a new map using my package, and then I add this one as a tile layer. So let me show you how to do that. It might look complicated, but essentially everything here on the map is some kind of a layer or is a control, a widget, right? So the m.layers show you all the layers, m.controls show you anything on the map. So I'm going to have the zoom control, attribution control. So right now this map has two controls. The zoom control is this one here. And the attribution control is the one at the bottom. Okay, so these are things that are being added. So everything on the map you can think about, this is the Lego. You're building something, adding to the Lego, whatever you're going to build. Everything you can take it in and out. You can remove stuff. Okay, so for example, okay, this one, if you have this control in here, if you don't like it, you can remove it. Or if the zoom control, you don't like it, you can remove it. So the simplest one will be here, m.controls. These have two controls. If you don't want the attribution control, I can remove it. So I can just do here m.control equal to m.controls. And then square brackets, colon, 1. So what this one is doing is basically, because the control basically is a tuple, it's kind of like a list. I can just get, so if you skip the first one, it's basically starting from 0. 0, 1 is excluded. Okay, so basically you are taking 0. What this one is doing, I'm only taking the first one and then overwrite the existing control. So pay attention here, right? Right now you see this one, and see after I run this one, see what happened. Okay, pay close attention. Be gone. Right? How nice. So everything you can actually control. If you don't, if right now, right, I have the zoom control here, right? I can remove it. If I run this line again, zoom control be gone. I run it. Oh, it's still here. Not supposed to be. Huh? This is a bug. Is the zoom control should be gone. Anyway, also for the layers, I can also remove the data layer, right? So the data layer here is just you can set it to dot clear, or you just m dot clear layer. You can also clear the layers. Right? Yeah, clear layers. Oh, not color, clear. CLEAR, clear layers. See, it's gone. No more. You have the control here. I think you can also do like m dot clear controls. Is to remove all the controls from the map. You run this one. You go up. See, all gone. But sometimes if you don't need that, you can clear. You can still have the map. So for example, right, I run this one again, right? Create this map, and you don't like the zoom control, you don't like the attribution control, then why not just m dot clear control? Then everything is gone, right? So if I run this one, see, with just the map, now it's better, right? Because it's nothing allows you to basically, like I said, it's a Lego. Everything can be, you can add more stuff, you can remove stuff. So next, let me show you how to add a layer, right? So our package is we create a map like this. We have the layer control, but now how to actually add the layer? So layer, you can actually add a tile layer. We go back to the source code here. Look at the layers on the documentation. On the left side, you're going to see a bunch of these different data layers. So I believe they can add all kind of data layers. It can be raster layer, vector data layer, or it can be just tile layer. So the most common one you want to take a look is the so-called tile layer, the first one. Okay. So the tile layer, look at here, it's pretty simple. It's going to be a blah blah map to base map, and then base map to tiles, and base map blah blah, and then add this one. So it certainly allows you to add data layers. But I wanted to look at the other example. It's called tile layer. Might be difficult to see, but we're not going to use the base map. We're just going to use the tile layer, construct the tile layers, because the tile layer is a class. And it has the URL, it has the mean and zoom and attribution. So let me show you, for example, how do I add Google Maps into our map, right? Or how do I get Google Earth imagery onto the map? So Google Map and Google Earth, the base map are not for commercial. You need the API key, but they provide the URL that allows you to add it to web applications. So let me show you how to do that. Again, this is for educational purpose only. Not supposed to use that for commercial, but you can find the URL. So let me show you one. Google Maps URL. Just type Google Maps URL, and then you can look at the search result. And how about this one? Stack Overflow. What parameters should I use to go? Google Maps tile URL maybe better. So I want to find basically the URL that how about this one? Google Maps tile URL for hybrid map types, and click this one. And so here you should be able to find the URL. Where is it? Okay, it's here. Hybrid maps. I think I saw. Yeah, so here are different parameters, and so what we can do, let me is something like this. X, Y, Z. So we call this another one. Okay, I think this one should be able to use, yeah, this one, X, Y, Z, blah, blah. Yeah, something like this. I will share the link, or you can Google it, you can find it. So this is Google Street Hybrid. So the hybrid is the one that has the um, data imagery and also with the street names. So for me, I'm going to copy this one. This is the one that we can use to add as a tile layer to the map. So, and I'm going to just copy this URL. Again, you're welcome to just Google it, and then I can come back to here just to show you how to use that. Okay, so I'm going to add this one to my package, and because when built on top of ipyleaflet, so it allows us to actually add a tile layer, and you can just create a variable called URL, and this is the URL to the web service, and then we need to create a tile layer. So it will be something like this: layer equal to don't have this one yet. We need to import ipyleaflet. ipyleaflet. For now, we need to import two packages, but later on, once we integrate this one to our package, it'll be easier. So you don't need ipyleaflet. Everything will be under the hood. So just type ipyleaflet dot tile layer. Look at this one. ipyleaflet dot tile layer, and then you can pass in the parameter. So basically, we're getting this URL. We can give it a layer name and then opacity. So basically, we're getting this layer. Once you have this one, then you can add the layer to the map. So basically right now, this is a Lego, just a block. And then you can add that block to the map. So what I can do is just map.add layer. Let's see what happened, okay? So we construct the layer, and then we add the layer to the map, and then we display the map. Maybe HTTPS. Anyway, let me go to leaf map. You have the URL, some map. Hybrid, copy list. Looks the same. Oh, because of, oh yeah, in this is a bit different. So we need to find the correct URL. So right now, if I run this one, let me try this one. RC Okay, this one works. So basically, that's the URL problem. I think it's I just need to get the correct URL, then you should be able to add that. But at least right now, for example, here, this is not Google Map. This is Esri example. Esri. Again, don't worry, it looks complicated, but it's just to get the correct URL. Once you have the URL, then you can construct a tile layer, and then you can add the tile layer to the map like this. So here we have the layer control. We can also turn the layer on and off. And this one also allows you to change the opacity. So if you want, for example, 0.5, and control enter. Okay, this right now is 50%. So the opacity can be changed interactively. Pretty easy. Also, you can do it like this. Be more fun. So the layer dot interact allows you to change opacity, something like this. So, right, if I run Control Enter, so you have this opacity, and pay attention to the one, right? So this is the Esri data imagery base map, and so look at here. Okay, cool. Just one line. So because this layer, this variable is an ipy widget component, so allows you to use the interact function to change interactively. So this one shows you starting from 0 and to 100%, and then each time increase 0.1. So you can certainly change this interactively. Right, so it's very responsive. This is a nice way that you can add the layer. You can add the base map. So all you need is just basically get the URL and then construct the tile layer, and then you can add the URL. But you need to construct the ipyleaflet data layer. So next, let me go back to show you how to add this one to the package. So what we're going to do here is to come here, come this one, and then we can create a new function. For example, add tile layer or something, like whatever function name you want to use. And then you can basically build on top of ipyleaflet. So user, when they add the base map, they just give you a URL. They don't have to worry about ipyleaflet.tile layer. So they just will map.add tile layer, something like that. So let's improve it a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is def add underscore tile layer, something like that. And see, kind of like autocomplete, pretty nice, right? Hit tab, and it's going to be blah blah self. Give me the URL, and also give me the name for the name is the one going to show up on the layer control. So it's going to be this one, right? So the layer name here, the name equal to this one, is the one going to show up in here. Okay, and that's it. And then you can use the map.add layer, or nowadays you can just use the self.add this layer. Control S. The reason you have this double star KWARGS, so keyword arguments, is that allow the user to put as many. For example, I don't put the opacity in here, right? Earlier, because the tile layer has a lot of parameters, you don't need to list them all. You just use the keyword arguments, and then double star means is the unpack the dictionary, and then to treat it as keyword arguments. So basically, whatever you give to me, if I don't have that in my function, you will pass it into the parent function when you construct. So in that way, you can have more flexibility, allow the user to add stuff. So right now, after add this one, right, Control S, and that's it. So next, let's go back to modify this function to see how we simplify stuff, right? So now, I don't need this anymore. I don't need the ipyleaflet anymore. I can comment it out. So user only need to import your package, create a map, and then provide the URL. And now I don't need this line. You don't need to construct the leaflet layer. So all you need to do will be just map. You need to restart the kernel. Otherwise, no, won't be able to access that. After you restart the kernel, re-import the library, then you should be able to have access to the new function. Yeah. So something like this, map.add tile layer. So it's calling the new function, giving a name, attribution basically give the credits. It's going to show up in the lower right corner. So now if I run this one, see, I have this. I have the attribution. The attribution is coming up added to the lower right corner. So you see, we basically reduce lines. So now I don't need to import ipyleaflet. I don't need to construct the tile layer. You just give me the URL, and then I can put it into the map, and I can have a layer control on off. This is how you kind of simplify the lines of code, and it makes it easy for user to use. And besides using just a URL, or you can just use a just simple text. So for example, base map, right? So if you go back, let me show you here. If I go back to the ipyleaflet, and then the base maps, you see here, there are tons of base map, right? But every time you need to import the ipyleaflet base map modules first, and then it's under the base map doc something. It's a little bit tedious. How about we just, for example, if I want to add H3 base map or even OpenTopo map, user can just like add base map and then just OpenTopo map as a text, so they don't need to import anything else. That would be better. Make sense? So what we can do here is to add a new function. Show you how you actually add that. Let me come back to this one and add a new function. I can say df add base map, okay? And then you can just give a name, right? Self, and then name of the base map. This one is not good, okay? Just give me a name, and yeah, just the name is enough. So what we're going to do here, let me show you. This one is a little bit more complicated, but first let me show you this function that you can use to convert a text to a object. Okay, so I'm still going to use the ipyleaflet from ipyleaflet import base maps. Okay, let me show you what this one is about. So base map dot open topo map. So if I run this one, execute this base maps. Yes. I'm going to show you it's come from another package called XYZ services, a tile layer, right? So when the user, if you don't want to add the base map, you need to basically import the base map. But you can also do it like this. I can just simply use the text, double quotes, and then double quotes. Then you can use this function, right? It's a string, but you can use the function called evaluate, EVAL, to turn this string into a Python object. This will give you the same result. Again, come here, right? So the reason I want to show you this is because user can just provide this string, and then inside your source code, you turn this one into an object so that the user don't need to import this base map. Make sense? So let me go back to here to show you how to do that, right? I'm going to here from ipyleaflet import base maps. Okay. So what I can do is to, when the user add a base map, if you give a name, I'm going to turn this name, because user can give us as a string, and then I can turn this one into, oh yeah, this looks, no this one, this. So I can show you here, if is instance. So for example, if the name is a string, so if the user provide a string, then I'm going to turn this string into a base map object, so that later we can add that high layer object to the map. So it will be base map equal to EVAL See, this looks good. So what it's doing, if you give me, for example, open topo map, I'm going to combine, change it to base map to open topo map, and then evaluate. Once you evaluate, it become a tile layer. And if it is a tile layer, then I can add it to the map. So then I can just m dot add base map. Oh, not m, self dot add base map. Because this base map right now is a tile layer. And I can add just this one. Yeah, else it's the same name. Else you can just add the name. It might be hard to understand right now, but let me show you in action what it looks like. So this is the point. So let me restart my kernel. Restart just to show you right now what it looks like. So earlier, for example, now I can just import the lib, my package. Right here, I can create a new map equal to my package map. Right, and again by default you only have this OpenStreetMap, right? Now I can add open topo map, so I can just m dot add, see, add base map coming up from here. Now I can use any text name that's available from the ipyleaflet website. So I can just type open topo map. I would assume it's going to layers. Map the map. Oh, or it's a type provider. Anyway, and it's a big difference. We can change it. So what this one is doing, because earlier when we construct this one is type provider, but we can get the URL. So if we evaluate this one and then go URL. Okay. So when you call this function, you're going to give you the URL, and then we can use the URL to add the tile layer. Let me come back to change this one a little bit. Not a big deal. So yeah. So build URL. So the build URL basically extract the URL from the subject. And then once you have the URL, then we can call this tile layer. So basically doing the same thing just like this one here. So we can add that one back to the map. Tile layer and the URL. So again, don't worry, I post the source code. You can copy and paste. But sometimes you just need to do some debugging to figure out what's wrong. And once you get the URL, we can get the tile layer, and then you can have this. Now let me come back to here. It work now this time. Okay, import the package. Make sense? No. So what it's doing is earlier. So if you go back to this one, go back to source code in here, right? So it's a string. It's a name. So when you give me the string, I'm going to basically convert the string to, so one more time the step by step, right? So you give me this open topo crazy open, like give me this string, right? So in my source code, I turn this string into base map dot open topo map. So basically it's going to change to this one, basemaps.openTopoMap. And this is a string. And then I apply this evaluate function. Evaluate. What? Evaluate. Of course, right now this one probably won't work because you need to import that base map. So you need to have this one. It's a little bit confusing, but I want to show you what it looks like. So now if I run this one, see? So basically, step by step, and after you get the object, and there's another one here to get the URL. So the build URL is a function of the I provider object. So if I type build URL, make sense? It's getting this URL. So this web URL, we can then use the map.addTileLayer function to add that. So it's more like kind of multiple steps to get to this one. So once you get the URL, so if I don't call this function, right, I can do m.addTileLayer, right, and then I can have the URL equal to, this will be the URL here. I run this one again, and URL name equal to okay, get the same result. Understand now? So basically what you need is the URL. Once you have the URL, because we already have the addTileLayer function, then you can pretty much, you can just get the URL. You can basically add, you can add any tile layer from the internet as long as they provide a URL. And that URL can be used. So for now, it's not just the open map. It can be any base maps. So now if I come back to here, look at this. Right? We have tons of these base maps here. For example, this one, basemaps.esri and National Geographic map. So what I can do here, I can just copy this one. The string need to be the same, but now we can provide as a string. So I'm going to copy this one, okay, and then come here. Again, I can remove this one. Just want to show you here. All right. So now the user don't have to import ipyleaflet.basemap and then basemap.something something. You can just provide a string. So for me, it'll be like this: map.addBasemap. Control Enter. Okay, and also have this here. Isn't it better? Then you have to import the base map and then construct the layer. So basically, you have everything built in inside your class rather than you have to do that manually. So you simplify the process. The user don't have to construct all those stuff. You just give me the name, I can do it. Of course, if the name doesn't exist, not going to do anything, right? So if you run this one, if you have a typo or something, probably doesn't do anything. Let's say a national zero blah 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 the above exception because the tile layer doesn't exist. Attribution error, that means this one doesn't exist. But now you are welcome to use any of the base map from here, right? So if you scroll down, if there's anything particular one you like, you can even add this, right? Mode this imagery like real time or this nighttime light. This looks pretty cool. Again, right now it's still a little bit tedious because you need to come here to copy and paste. But later on, I'm going to show you how you can build a widget that allows the user to select from the drop-down list. That way you don't have to remember the name. But for now, show you. If I come back to this one, I can refresh here. So I'm going to add the nighttime light imagery. Run it. Pretty cool, right? But what you want probably something even easier. Let me import leaf map just to show you the differences. For leaf map, and then I'm going to create a map. By source. Okay, so it's Pretty much the same, right? Except that I have a couple toolbar in here. It's still open map. And if you click this toolbar and click this base map button, see this? I have all the data layers in here. So you don't actually have to, if I select one, the one I used earlier, right? NASA was nighttime light. Even one step further, that even no coding. So you can actually add this widget to the map. We haven't covered that far yet, but I just want to like down the road. This is how you have the source code simplify and eventually go to the graphical user interface that user don't even, they just create a simple map, right? Most users should be able to just write these 2 lines, and then you will have all kind of interactive widget that allow user to customize. Example, let me close this one. Come here, or you can even use this. This is down the road. In a couple of weeks, you will be able to have something like this. But now, just want to show you like the general procedure, step by step, simplify, and then eventually no coding. Questions? It looks complicated, but just try to digest. Bottom line, you can always do the debugging. So like what we did last time, right? So if you don't really you have no clue about or what this one is doing, fine. Just come here, maybe about click this one, for example. Just start doing the debugging, and another one, and then debug cell. It's going to show you step by step how you're actually executing your source code from your package, right? So for now, I import my package, I create a map. All you need to do is just step into. And you see here, it's going to come to show you exactly how it's executing coding function in module, right? So when you have the create a map class, it's going to come to this function first, and then it's going to call tuple is the ipyleaflet initialization. And then if you run it, add control, right? That's it. And then you're going to come back, and after that, you're going to add the base map and go into see how the base map is being added. Also, pay attention to the debugging interface on the left. You should be able to see some of the information from here. So right now, we have the name, we have the save at the base map we stuck into, right? And you're going to evaluate this one, the URL. Look at this URL. This is the one that we provide. This is nighttime light imagery, right? And after that, it's going to use the map.add layer. You step inside, it's going to call this function. And then you're going to add the tile layer, construct the layer, add the layer, and add the tile layer. It's done. Then you display the map. So you can step through that one by one. You can figure out something goes wrong. You can actually do the debugging to figure out what's wrong. So this is the simple way. And also, right now, the layer control is by default it being added to the to this low right corner. So for me, I would maybe just simply show you like I don't want to add them by default. I can do it in here. I can just say ef add layers control, and so self.add control, but you can also provide the position to make it more customizable. So I can say position, for example, by default it's going to be at the top right corner. I can also do in here position equal to position. So instead of like by default adding to the low right, now I can remove it here, choice. So now when you create a map, it's not adding the add layers control. So it's not adding the control by default. You need to call the function, but I allow the user to customize, put it in the upper right corner. So now if I come back, restart, and let's call this function again. Still hey. Then look at this one. Check. Okay, so now it doesn't have the layer control. But if you want, I can come here, m.add layers control, parentheses, control enter. Okay, now it's coming up on the upper right corner. But you can allow the user to control. So if you really want, I can just position equal to, so this will be For example, top left, enter. So everything basically can move around. It depends on how you want it to be. You can, what you need is basically design things within your map class, and then you can slowly make it simpler and simpler. Again, practice. It will become easier and easier, but this is how we build on top of other packages, and then reduce the lines of code that user need to write. And they don't need to, basically they don't need to know about ipyleaflet. You do that, and then so all they need is just to import your package, and then you can do everything within your package. Make sense? Okay, I'm gonna post this one to GitHub, and then so if you could not follow, just copy and paste this, my code block, my everything that I have in here into your module, and then you work the same way. And then try to test it using a notebook, see if it works as expected or not. Okay, so that's all for today. And again, no class on Friday, so I will see you after the spring break. Okay, enjoy your break. I will see you in 10 days.